Top 10 goals of the World Cup group stage. Salem Al-Dawsari, Saudi Arabia vs Argentina. A moment that the people of Saudi Arabia and perhaps the whole world will never forget. On a day when the eyes of the world were fixed on Argentina's number 10, their very own number 10, Salem Al-Dawsari, was the man who stole the headlines. With the game tied in the balance at 1-1, Al-Dawsari scored an incredible goal to put his side 2-1 up against one of the tournament favourites. With one strike of the ball, he etched his name into the history books and immortalised his Saudi Arabia teammates. Al-Dawsari curled the ball beautifully into the top right hand corner of the goal from outside the box to leave Dibu Martinez clutching at thin air. This bending strike rippled the net to seal a 2-1 win for the Saudis, undoubtedly the best result in their history. Not long after the final whistle, a national holiday was announced in Saudi Arabia for the following day. And despite losing their following two games, Saudi Arabia more than held their own at this World Cup and had a massive impact on the drama that was to ensue in their group. Takuma Asano, Japan vs Germany. Japan's Takuma Asano scored a brilliant goal to seal a shock win over European giants Germany. The first step in a crazy group that saw Japan topple and defeat former champions Spain as well. The defining moment on this shocking night was a beautiful goal from Takuma Asano. Asano magically controlled a long, searching ball from the right-hand side. The pass looked speculative at first, but with Asano's incredible first touch, everything appeared planned to perfection. Asano raced in the direction of Manuel Neuer, shrugging off the German defender in the process. He showed immense strength before squeezing the ball in at the near post. His shot was too precise and too quick for the goalkeeper. The ball hit the back of the net and sent the whole nation of Japan into delirium. This result was even sweeter considering how Anthony Rudiger was cocky enough to mock the Japanese earlier in the game. Richarlison, Brazil vs Serbia. Brazil started their World Cup campaign off with what felt like a routine 2-0 victory over Serbia. They had the confidence of a side that had arrived to win the tournament and the chemistry of a group that played together every week. The highlight of the game, and something that was far from routine and instead out of the ordinary, was Richarlison's acrobatic effort to put the tournament favourite 2 goals ahead and out of sight on the night. Richarlison let a cross run across his body before taking a looping touch and swivelling on the spot, primed to smash the ball into the net with the other foot. A piece of art to announce football's creatives had arrived, and on the world stage they were ready to play. The power generated by his flying volley meant the Serbian goalkeeper had no chance, a goal of such technical brilliance that we dream of seeing from the famous yellow jersey of Brazil. Cody Gakpo, Netherlands vs Ecuador. After just 5 minutes of the Netherlands' second group game against Ecuador, one of the standout young players of the tournament so far, Cody Gakpo, launched the men in orange into an early lead. Gakpo received the ball on the edge of the Ecuador box and shifted into half a yard of space before releasing a fearsome strike with his left boot. The ball flashed past the Ecuadorian keeper, as Gakpo extended a scoring run that saw him score in all 3 group stage games. There really was nothing that the keeper could do about this one. Gakpo struck the ball perfectly and with such power that very few goalkeepers in the world would have had a chance of stopping it. Lionel Messi, Argentina vs Mexico. The moment that men, women and children all across Argentina had been waiting for. A trademark Lionel Messi strike to give Argentina a vital win against Mexico. A bit of magic that many had played out in their dreams just the night before. The goal was as important as it was romantic, as after their disastrous result in the first game against Saudi Arabia, Argentina had to beat Mexico to keep their World Cup dreams alive. Messi received the ball in space on the edge of the box, and the rest was history. It was vintage Messi, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right opportunity to pop up. And when it did, he made no mistake at all. A little shift to set himself, and as precise a strike as you would expect. It was half a chance for a normal player, but for Lionel Messi, this had goal written all over it, and he made no mistake, keeping Argentinian hopes of glory alive. Make no mistake about it, it was a difficult finish. His first touch was incisive, and his strike precise. Only the best make it look so simple. Alvaro Morata, Spain versus Germany. This heavyweight clash seemed like a treat on the fixture list. Two former World Cup champions going head to head in a warm-up for the knockout games. The idea that they would be the top two in this group was a formality. However, at one stage on the final day of group games, both of these European superpowers were going home. Despite both of their struggles, this game did show moments of the outstanding quality that you would expect from Europe's best. Alvaro Morata in particular scored a wonderful goal. He opened the scoring for Spain in a 1-1 draw with a deft finish from a Jordi Alba pass. The forward beat the defender to the ball and dinked it over the onrushing Manuel Neuer with the outside of his boot. A finish that appears so simple but is one of the hardest to execute. He took the ball in his stride and perfectly clipped it over the keeper. It was very easy on the eye. Georgian de Arrascaeta, Uruguay versus Ghana. The game between Uruguay and Ghana ended in incredible fashion. Waves of Uruguayan attacks searched for a third goal that would take them into the next round on goal difference, but it wasn't to be. Their opponents, Ghana, lost the game and went out of the group, so they did not find their revenge for that infamous Suarez handball in 2010. Although, some Ghanaians may have taken comfort in the images of the Uruguay veteran crying at full time. Uruguay were 2-0 winners on the day, with both goals coming from Georgian de Arrascaeta. The Flamengo playmaker's second goal was a fine finish. A looping ball from Luis Suarez put de Arrascaeta in a great position, but still with a lot of work to do. The ball dropped slowly from the air as a Ghana defender chased him down. In one fell swoop, the Uruguayan connected perfectly with the ball. His rasping volley whipped past the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. The cleanest of strikes made for one of the tournament's finest finishes. Vincent Aboubakar, Cameroon versus Serbia. Vincent Aboubakar has provided us with some of the classic moments in this tournament. The Cameroon striker scored the winner against Brazil in their final group match and then removed his shirt in celebration, knowing that this would be met with a second yellow card and his dismissal. Aboubakar smiled at the ref, took his medicine and even gave him a high five on the way off the pitch. It was earlier on in the tournament, however, that Aboubakar scored a goal that had shades of the legendary Davor Suker. In a captivating end-to-end 3-3 draw with Serbia, Aboubakar scooped the ball over the Serbian keeper in what was a fine finish. He didn't chip the ball, he scooped the ball, an unconventional but beautiful technique that you don't often see. The ball bounced on the goal line and ended up in the roof of the net. There is a suggestion that Aboubakar only tried the scoop because he may have thought that he was offside and that it didn't matter anyway. But we would like to think he knew exactly what he was doing. A tremendous and unique finish. Bukayo Saka, England versus Iran. England romped to a 6-2 victory in their opening game of the tournament against Iran. Bukayo Saka scored 2 brilliant goals on the day, one of which was an amazing volley, but we actually preferred his second strike. Why? Well, Saka reminded us a bit of one Lionel Messi here. In typical Messi fashion, Saka duked inside from the right-hand flank, a row of Iranian defenders poised to meet him. Saka continued to cut inside, a shimmy here and a fake there. He moved towards the centre of the pitch, teasing the Iran defenders who were waiting for him to let fly. He twitched and dummied again, leaving some of the defenders rooted to the spot completely, all of them powerless in front of him, waiting and waiting for the release. And then bang, finally Saka found his spot and picked his moment. He rolled the ball calmly through the defenders and into the net. It was just like a trademark Messi finish, poised and clinical. It was a brilliant goal from Saka and an example of what a mature player he is for his age. Most would have struck the ball too early and wasted the opportunity completely. Matthew Leckie, Australia versus Denmark. We have seen some truly joyful scenes from Australia this World Cup. Their city streets lined with fans in the very early hours of the morning to cheer on their Socceroos. Nobody gave them a chance of getting out of a group containing France, Denmark and Tunisia, but they did it. And in the end, they did it convincingly, with 2 massive wins. Okay, they lost to France and Argentina at this tournament, but there's no shame in that. They got to celebrate goals against both of these giants and reach the World Cup knockout stages. The pick of their goals was Matthew Leckie's amazing finish in the final group game against a much favoured Denmark side. Lecky's superb strike gave the Aussies a 1-0 victory that sent them through to the knockouts against all of the odds. Australia were the lowest ranked side to reach the knockouts, and Denmark got to the semi-finals of the European Championships just 18 months ago. A tremendous feat for Australia. Lecky scored on the counter-attack after he got one-on-one with the Denmark defender. He twisted him inside and out before putting a low left-footed finish across the keeper into the bottom right-hand corner. Cue scenes of pandemonium down under. The ball was out of reach of Schmeichel, and Australia's resilient and disciplined game plan had paid off, capped off with this brilliant piece of individual quality from Lecky. Which of these goals was your favourite? How would you rank them from 1 to 10? Are there any goals that you would include that we haven't? Let us know in the comments below.